Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video I'll be taking you through the week ahead analysis video. We'll be having a look at the news for the week and some charts of interest. So let's jump straight in. So I've opened up the medium impact folders as well, just to give us a bit of a bigger overview, because after last week's events we've still got some speeches happening. We've even got the Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda speaking, which is going to be significant on Monday. We have the ECB President Lagarde speaking, and then we have multiple different FOMC members speaking throughout the week. So there's definitely going to be some follow-on of risk from last week. And then we have Federal Chairman Powell speaking twice this week, here on Tuesday and Wednesday. So investors are going to be looking to see if the Fed are going to follow on from their previous meeting and give any further insights into the next sort of stance on monetary policy. We then have other pieces of data set which is quite important. We have GDP out of Canada. We also have lots of core CPI and PCE data out throughout this week. Now, last week was obviously a bit of a surprise to the market, with the BOJ intervening, as well as kind of reports coming out from Russia talking about nuclear deterrence. So there was a lot of risk on the table last week, and we saw that having an effect on the markets, with the yen and dollar getting stronger and the stocks falling. So will that sentiment continue into this week? So going on to the strength meter, again, nothing too much of note apart from we can see the fact that the yen has started to gain strength. We can see this white line through here starting to get stronger, coming from those reversal lows. We can see that the New Zealand dollar has now reached the -5, showing us the weakness in the Kiwi. And then we have the dollar remaining at +5, being at that reversal zone as well. So not too much to note apart from those three things. Moving on to the dollar index, then we're actually going to feature the same charts from last week's week ahead analysis and the Forex market wrap, just because those are going to be continued charts of interest. Now, the dollar index is going to be interesting to us because we're looking at the strength of the dollar, and we can see that I've noted the sort of next big resistance level for us is 117, and 117 could act as resistance going forward. But what it shows me is that in the way of that 117, there's not a lot of data to suggest that there could be buyers and sellers around any other levels. So that 117 really stands out to me as the potential next high for the US dollar index. Now, obviously, the market doesn't just go up in a straight line. We're going to probably see some pullbacks from last week due to the nature of how strong last week was. So at the moment, we're trading at the 113 handle. We could easily come back and retest previous structure highs at the 111.80 handle, which was this high back through here. Now, if the trend is going to continue, we would expect the price to find some support around this level, or even the sort of previous structure point, which would be this 110.80. That could also offer some support going forward for those buyers of the US dollar. Going into Euro US dollar then, the dollar strong is going to give way to Euro dollar moving to the downside. Now, we do have the ECB President Lagarde speaking this week, which could add some kind of support for the euro going forward. She may try and talk about further hikes to come for the euro, which could boost the euro. However, because of the dollar dominance, then I'm expecting prices to potentially come down to this 0.96 handle, which is a previous low formed from some time ago. We can see here that the market is just breaking into new lows now. So if sellers are going to continue to sell euro dollar, we could expect them to come back into the market at some key areas of resistance. So we have this 0.9800, or we have the 0.9750, where price paused before continuing to the downside. So these two areas here could offer those sellers that have been selling euro dollar opportunities to continue to sell down to that key support point. Going on to pound US dollar then, so we can see that price at 40-year lows, 1.0850 is where we kind of closed last week. Really strong bearish candlestick. Now, quite often when we get these type of candles, we can often see retracements in those moves. However, because the March 85 lows are not too far away, I think that's something that could possibly be tested going forward into this week, which is 1.055. So if price does reach that area, we probably will expect some kind of bounce from in and around that point. However, if we don't get there this week and price does pull back, then we do have some resistance at the 112 and also the 114, which was this previous resistance that we can see here on this daily chart. So we'll have a little look for potential further downside there. Sorry, I meant to say weekly chart. That was meant to be a weekly. So I'm expecting some further downside potentially for pound. You know, we've recently had the UK budget being announced, and the UK government have announced quite a significant amount of tax cuts, but it's been met with heavy criticism due to the sort of helping out the wealthy and ignoring the poor, essentially. So we could see the pound US dollar continue to fall as well. Going on to pound yen then. So yen getting stronger, pound weak, makes sense to look at pound yen. We were talking about finding resistance at 167.87 after the breakout of this triangle pattern in here. Now price has completely rolled over. We've traded through the 160 spot 65 handle. We've traded down through 155 spot 50, which is this low down through here. So the next sort of level of interest is 153 handle, and then below that we have 151. So it doesn't look like we're going to slow down this momentum anytime soon. If we did see some kind of pull back in the market, then we could expect maybe these lows through here to act as resistance going forward. So that could be sort of the 159 handle and above could act as resistance going forward. So that's what I've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed this video update. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some other Forex content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.